Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining. We are so excited to have you here to learn all about creating branded content for Pinterest. We have a couple experts with us here today to give you some great tools for getting started with Pinterest. First, you'll hear from Mandy Rosenthal, the partnerships manager at Pinterest, about everything Pinterest has to offer its creative community, including a sneak peek at what's to come in the future and how to get started creating pins. Then you'll hear from the Pop Pays team and Jonathan Lowe, who is a creative director and designer and has done several awesome Pinterest campaigns on Pop Pays. He'll give you some insights into creating pins from the creator perspective and give some advice for people who are just getting started on Pinterest. So without further ado, we'll kick it over to Mandy to get us started.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mandy Rosenthal, and I am super excited to be here today to talk to you all about why Pinterest is a platform for creators like yourself. So before we get started, I'm going to just introduce myself a little bit. I manage all of our third-party creative partnerships here at Pinterest, including the one with Popular Pays. And I've been at Pinterest for about a year and a half now, but I've been an avid pinner since I think 2012 or 2013. And I'm really excited to be kind of on the other side of the wall here to selfishly make Pinterest better for myself, but also for our pinners and creators like you. So here's a quick snapshot of what I'm going to be covering today, really focusing on Pinterest as a channel for creators like yourselves to publish content on and to build an audience. Plus, I'll be diving into our best practices and some other essentials for being a successful creator on Pinterest. So, why Pinterest, right? You as a creator have a ton of different channels that you can publish content on, where you can build audiences and engage with them. So, why should Pinterest be one of your top platforms? I'll walk you through. Well, I first like to start out with their mission, which is to bring everyone the inspiration to create a life that they love. What this means is that people are coming to Pinterest really looking to be inspired, right? They come with intent, they have a positive mindset, but they're also ready to act. They want to go do something. And it's that unique mindset that sets us apart from other platforms, right? We don't want our users to necessarily be glued to their screen, right? And just like continuing to scroll and scroll and scroll. We want them to actually get up off their couch, make that recipe, build that treehouse, buy that product, do that beauty hack that you just shared with them, whatever it is, that's going to help them improve their lives. So, who are all these people that we're inspiring? Well, we have 442 million monthly active users, and this is globally. This is a really big number. Really, because when I started in June of 2019, we had around 250 million monthly active users. And I like to share that stat because it shows over a short period of time, we have grown very rapidly. In particular, over this past year of 2020, we accelerated our growth the fastest that we've seen in any of our previous years. And that's because of the COVID pandemic. We saw a lot of people turn to our platform for ways to improve their lives, right? People are coming to the platform for things like the everyday, right? And so when people were at home more, we saw an increase in searches and trending categories for home office decor. How am I going to educate my children? What am I going to make for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? What's my new at home fitness regimen? Things like that. So, our platform has really grown tremendously over the last few months. But our platform has a really engaged audience. What these numbers here show you is that we have over 240 billion pins that are saved across 5 billion boards. That's telling you that our pinners are not just passively going through our platform, they're saving your content. They're adding it to their boards. They're collaborating with other pinners to improve their lives, right? To take action and actually turn their dreams into a reality. And that's because these people are coming with purpose, right? Pinners are literally looking for what to do, try, and buy next. And that's where you come in as a creator. They're looking to authentically connect with creators like you who they trust for inspiration and recommendations. The more you post, the more they're going to engage with you, and the more they are going to trust you and look forward to your content and continue to follow you for these amazing recommendations and cool tips and tricks that you're sharing. And I hope it goes without saying, but without creators, there really would be no Pinterest. right? You are the lifeblood of our platform. You're the core of it. And the reason why these 442 million monthly creators are coming looking for inspiration, you are providing that inspiration on our platform. So now that you know a little bit about the mindset of the pinner and the value of the platform, I'm going to talk a bit about how Pinterest works and how we differentiate ourselves from other platforms out there. Well, firstly, we do not consider ourselves a social media platform. We are more aligned with a visual discovery engine. So, what does that mean? Basically, when a person comes to the platform, they have an idea in their mind, they're going to search a text based search, and we are going to provide them a visual response. Pinterest is 100% visual, right? And I think there's a lot to the saying, picture is worth 1,000 words, because you may have these ideas in your mind. You want to get inspired, but you don't really know exactly what it is that you're looking for. Once you see it, you know it. And that's what our platform helps you do, which makes it really inspiring to take their idea and turn it into an action, into a reality. We also do not surface content chronologically. So the content that we surface is relevant based upon a user's recent engagements, their interests, their keyword searches, things like that. So your content will only be surfaced when it's relevant to what the user has been looking at. This leads to a very highly personalized and curated experience because, again, if a user is looking at, let's say, neon hair dye, and you as a content creator are posting things related to hair coloring, then your content is going to come up related to those search results or on that home feed or in those related pins. It's not going to surface next to, like on other on a social platform, for example, some random article, or someone's grandma posting about their grandkids, so stuff that's totally irrelevant. Your content is native to the platform and it fits in with what the users are naturally engaging with. It also means that your content is evergreen. So your content is going to last and perform for a lot longer than it would on another platform. The life cycle of a pin can be months to years, whereas the life cycle on a social media platform tends to peak after 24 hours. And the reason for that is because people are coming to the platform really with three main things in mind. They are looking for the everyday. So, like I said, what am I going to eat for dinner tonight? What am I going to wear tomorrow? To big life events. I'm moving or I'm having a baby, to the seasonal, right? I want to plan a graduation party or I want to plan my summer vacation. These moments happen all the time, every day, every week, every month, every year. So if you as a creator make content that's aligned with these everyday, these seasonal, these big life moments, then it will continue to be relevant to our users. And the more that people engage with your content, the more it's going to appear across Pinterest. So where is your content going to appear? Well, we have four main surfaces that I will walk you through. The first is our home feed. So the home feed is the first tab that you will see when you open up your Pinterest app on your phone or on the desktop or web experience. This is highly personalized to the content that you have been looking at most recently. It is also where your followers are going to see your content as a creator and where you're going to attract new followers. So your home feed is highly personalized based on what you've recently been looking at. So for example, if one day you're searching for, let's say, crock pot recipes, and then the next day you're looking up, Bali summer vacations, the content on your home feed is going to adjust and change to what you've recently been looking at. So a great way for your pins to get surfaced and for you to attract more followers. The next is our search. So like I've been saying, pinners come with intent. And what that means is that they're often looking for ideas and inspiration, which is the perfect opportunity for your content to surface, right? So people are coming to the platform searching really broad, kind of 1 to 3 word keywords. They're not specifically looking for a brand name. They're typing in things like work from home outfits, right? And if you're a creator on the platform aligned with those keywords and those topics, then you will come up in the search results. We're literally turning a person's words into images that inspire. Search is pretty self-explanatory, but it's that visual representation of turning the words into an image that really helps turn a person's dream into reality. And then we have our related pins surface. So this is a really cool surface where after a user has been inspired by your pin, let's say that they see your pin on their home feed, then they click on it, it goes into a close-up view, it makes it larger. Once they're in that close-up view, they can then scroll down and see more pins like this. So these are pins that look similar and have similar content to what they're looking at. This is an amazing place for your content to get surfaced. And it's also what I like to call the beginning of the Pinterest rabbit hole. So you may be looking for, it seems like this person was looking for, mixed berry snacks. This may then lead to them making an entire like peach summer berry cobbler or something like that and planning an entire summer picnic. If you have content on the platform related to these types of topics in this pin, you will get surfaced there. And then lastly, we have our newest surface, which is called the Today tab. So the Today tab we launched in March of 2020, and it is a daily curation of relevant and trending content. And we also feature spotlights from inspirational creators like yourself. So for example, when the COVID pandemic hit, we surfaced content related to the pandemic and healthiness and cleanliness, working from home type topics. Also, when the Black Lives Matter protests were peaking around the June time period, we surfaced content about Black businesses and things like that to help support the movement. So a really great way for your content to be surfaced when it's around trending topics. So now that you know where your content is going to surface, what does your content look like, right? What are the types of pins that you should be making? So the first is our bread and butter, which is our standard pin. This is a static single image that links out to a website or a domain. Fairly simple. It includes a title, a description. You can tag interest categories. You can tag products, add a list of ingredients if it's a recipe, or add instructions if it's like a DIY tips and tricks that you're promoting. Then our next format is video. So video is our fastest growing format on the platform. And it's a really great way for you as a creator to stand out from the rest of the feed. We have a ton of static pins, and video is a great way to just drive more awareness of who you are as a creator, drive more people to your profile and to your website, and really tell a story, right? We recommend telling this story within 6 to 15 seconds, but it's a great way to show what your talents are and what your recommendations are as a creator. And then next is our newest format, which I'm super excited to share with you because it's currently in beta in the US only, but it is only available for creators like yourselves. So to get an invite, go to pinterest.com/story-pin-invite and request access, and you can start creating. So what is a story pin? Well, this is Pinterest native format. So it is a multi-page pin for static and video images where you can add text overlay, music, other images, and it's going to be really engaging with that audience. So we see content creators post these daily, right, as a great way to build up an audience. And we typically see them post them within certain verticals like beauty, fashion, food, travel, tips and tricks, things like that. Here's some examples of the real life pins that we've been seeing created. Again, you can add that text overlay. You can get followers right from there. And you can also engage with the audience through reactions and real-time feedback. And I'll show you that on the next few slides, how to do that. So now that you know about our formats and you can get the story pin invite access, what are some of the best practices for how to be a successful creator on Pinterest? Well, first, Pinterest is for creators, right? It is not just to find inspiration for yourself, but it's also to inspire others, right? You are making content that is going to inspire our pinners. We need you. We want you to be making this amazing inspirational content that is going to help people improve their lives and turn their dream into a reality. So to be successful on Pinterest, we really want you to be making fresh content regularly and engage and talk with your audience. And you can do that through the formats that I just mentioned, but I have a few other tips and tricks to walk you through. So these are the three primary things to consider if you want to be a successful creator on Pinterest. First is, like I've been saying, create fresh content regularly. Then you want to optimize for discovery when you're developing your content. And lastly, we want you to engage with your audience and publish native content to drive awareness. So, what do I mean by optimize for discovery? When we say, I keep saying we want you to have new ideas daily, all this new content. Well, what is a new idea? Well, it's something that you yourself have originally created. It's fresh, you uploaded it hasn't been posted before, it's new, and you added it yourself natively to the platform. It is not repins and it's not existing content. This is really key because this gives you a really ripe opportunity to speak to your pinner, to your follower in the moment, right? Especially when it comes to, the past year where users are experiencing life in a whole different way than they were in previous years. So if you were just repinning the same holiday pins that you had shared in previous years, it's going to be a little tone deaf to what the user is experiencing right now in the real world. So take this opportunity to make new, fresh content that's relevant to our current life experience, and that will help you get a better audience and engage with them. The way that users can actually see your created content versus the content that you pin just as a user yourself is on your profile. So we have two tabs, created versus saved, that a user can toggle between to see what you yourself as a creator have uploaded versus what you have pinned and what you're just generally into. Another way to get optimized for discovery is to add a text overlay to your pins. This is especially important for story pins, and it also helps you provide context to what is the story pin that they're going to be watching, right? This will help your story pins get surfaced within search results as well if you add in that text overlay. So it's really, really key. The same goes for our standard and video pins. Leverage those descriptions and titles. If you add really concise, 1 to 2 sentences max, 500 character keywords and descriptions and titles, you will get surfaced more on that home feed, in the search results, in those related pins, on the Today tab, etc. So make sure you're doing that, as well as topic tagging. So if you're making a story pin or a video pin, be sure to tag the relevant topics before you publish. This will ensure that your idea reaches those who are searching for it. And then lastly, don't forget about boards. Boards are an amazing resource to help you organize your content. They also provide a broader context and a purpose to what you're doing, right? And who you are as a creator. They have the same things like our static and video pins, where you can add board names, descriptions, and categories, which all impact the way that you're going to show up on the Pinterest search results and on those other surfaces. So really use clear descriptive language in those board titles and descriptions. And then you can also turn any board into a group board by adding collaborators. So let's say you're a creator and you are working with a partner or a client on some party or some idea or some project. Add them to your board so you can visually work together on what you're thinking about for this project. Like I say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Using these visual representations of the boards and of these pins are really going to help make your project come to life. And then lastly, we want you to help build an audience, right? We want you to engage with this audience and build this community in real time. So there are several ways that creators can do this that I'll walk you through. The first is to leverage our audience insights tool. So this is only available to people who have a business account, which I will show you how to get. But this is a great way to see what your followers are interested in outside of your content. So what are they looking for on Pinterest? What are they searching for? What are their keywords? What are the categories that they're into? It can be really surprising, actually. And it's these insights that are going to help you develop relevant content, right? So if you keep making pins that are you think relevant to what your pinner, what your followers are into, that's fine. But why not take a look at these audience insights and see literally what are these categories that they're looking at? And that can inspire what the content that you're going to develop, and will hopefully help make your content more higher performing and surface more. Like I've been saying, we want you to create fresh pins weekly, especially story pins and native video to build up your audience. Also, claim your accounts, right? And your domain. So your domain is your website. This is what's going to get you traffic from the pins to your directly to your landing page. And then also claim your accounts from your Instagram, from your Etsy, from your YouTube accounts. That way you can attribute the shares from those accounts to Pinterest. And then experiment, right? So we have a public facing tool called Trends. It's trends.pinterest.com. And this is where you can see what pinners are looking for in general on the platform. So not just your followers, but just users, all of our 442 million monthly users. What are they looking for? Um, it can also be surprising. And actually, every year, Pinterest releases our Pinterest Predicts, which shows you what we predict as going to be the top trends for this year. So last year, I think we predicted correctly 8 out of the 10 trends, even despite COVID. So this year, I have really high hopes for ours. You could check out our top trends, our predictions on our business site that I'll link to at the end of this presentation. But it's a great way to develop content aligned with those trends. Experiment, check, try it out. See if it makes your pins perform a bit better and surface more. And then lastly, promote yourself, right? You want to cross link sites and you want to add the follow button to your website, again, so you can get more pins from your site and get more attributed content. You also want to be able to talk to your users in real time. So on our story pin format, we have a really cool feature with these emojis that pinners can just love it. They can say it's a great idea. They can start whatever it is. And they can also add comments. So it's a really great way to see if your pinners are loving your content or not loving it so much. And that will really help you optimize the type of content that you're developing in the future. The same thing goes for comments and tries. So with our static and video pins, pinners can leave comments and even upload photos of their take on the recipe or beauty hack or vacation recommendations that you posted. I personally do this a lot for cocktails, right? So I'm always taking a photo of the cocktail that I made that I found on Pinterest. And it's a great way for you to just engage with your users and see how they took a fresh spin on your original content. So now that you know all about our formats and how to be successful as a creator on Pinterest, you probably want to get set up. So let me walk you through those steps of how to do that. The first is to create a business account. So if you don't have one already, just go to business.pinterest.com and set up your account and start building your profile. If you have a personal account, you can convert that into a business account and migrate any pins over from that. It's very simple. I've done it myself, but it's a great way that you can toggle between your personal account and business account. Then you want to update your settings. So you want to enter in your business name. This is the name that is going to appear on your profile, and it will also determine how pinners discover you and your content. So very, very key to make sure that your business name is appropriately shown. Also select your business type. This will help pinners and Pinterest understand who you are, what verticals, what categories do you fall under. And then lastly, enter in your website correctly. This URL is going to be listed on your profile and it will help drive traffic directly to your site. Then get to know your business profile. So this is our newly revamped creator profile where you can see that you can add a customizable profile cover that is video or static image. We have a description about you and your image. You can see how many followers you have, and then also the follow button. So this is where users are going to be able to follow you directly. And then there's the tabs of created versus saved that I was mentioning earlier. So this is where users can toggle between the content that you yourself have natively made and uploaded versus the content that you've saved or repinned, the things that you're just generally into and that give you daily inspiration. Like I was saying before, claim your accounts. This is a great way to connect your Instagram, YouTube, Etsy, etc. accounts, and you can attribute those pins and those repins to your Pinterest account. So it makes your analytics way more robust. Your profile picture also appears next to any pins that come from your claimed accounts, which give you the attribution that you really deserve on your content. So now that you're up and running as a creator on Pinterest, you're probably wondering, well, is this working, right? How do I know if this is working for me? Am I a successful creator? So there are several ways that you can measure success and several tools that I can walk you through. First is pin stats. So pin stats will give you individual information on your individual pins. They're only available to you, so only you can see this. And again, only if you have a business account. But will give you information on how your pins are performing at a glance. And this information, this data is really powerful so you can create more high performing pins. The type of information that it'll show you is how many people looked at your pin? What are the impressions? How many people clicked into it to make it a close up? How many saved it? How many follows did you get? How many people saved it to boards? And what are the types of boards that people are saving it to? So it's really a deep look at your individual pins. Taking a step back, you can use Pinterest Analytics. So this will tell you how all of your pins that you've uploaded to Pinterest are performing, right? So you can see which pins people like, what they save from your other channels if you've claimed your accounts from other social platforms, and really learn more about what your audience wants. It will also tell you the data once you've claimed those accounts, the analytics on them, and you can see what pins people love and how much traffic that your site gets. Next is audience insight. So like I mentioned before, it's a great way to see what your followers are looking at in general on the platform. What are the categories? What are their interests? And you can really start to narrow it down and then develop content that is related to those topics. Then Pinterest trends. So this is at trends.pinterest.com. Again, these are our top trends that we see pinners in general, not just your followers, but just pinners looking at on the platform. And again, we have those Pinterest predicts that we come out with each year that we recently just came out with. You can find those on our business site, and you can see, what we're thinking are going to be the trending topics for this year. So definitely align with those for your content so you can be kind of ahead of the game and see if it increases the performance of your pins. So that's it for me. This is a resource slide that I will be sharing with you in follow-up after this webinar. The first link is going to be to our Pinterest business site. This is where you can sign up for a free business account and also apply for early access to story pins. Also, you should check out our Pinterest Academy. This is our hub of tutorials that you can go through to teach you how to create good content, how to be successful on Pinterest, and a lot more than what I covered today. It's totally free, so definitely check it out. Then we also encourage you to connect with other creators in our community. We have a business community website where you can share tips and tricks with other creators like yourself. And then there's a quick invite to our story pins. Again, this is just in beta, only in the US, but it's just for you. So definitely take advantage of it and help us test it out. And of course, follow at Pinterest Creators on Pinterest and Instagram so you can be in the know on what's going on at Pinterest and you can be ahead of the game and an awesome, successful creator for the platform. So thank you so much. And now I will pass it over to the Popular Pays team to talk to you about what they've got cooking up.
Hey everyone, my name is Megan. I'm the marketing manager at Pop Pays.
And then I'm Jane. I am the partnerships manager at Popular Pays and work closely with all things Pinterest.
And we are so excited to have Jonathan Lowe with us today. Jonathan, hey. Jonathan's an awesome Pop Pays creator. He's part of our Pop Shop, which is a curated, highly skilled group of content creators, and you'll see why when you get a peek at some of his content today. He has done Pinterest campaigns through Pop Pays with brands like Dunkin', Swiffer, and Tostitos, and he's going to give you some insight from the creator point of view on creating branded pins for Pinterest today. So that's enough from me. Jonathan, will let you tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm a creative director and a designer. I have a small agency out here in Southern California in Orange County called J3 Productions. And I've also had a blog called Happy Mundane forever. And yeah, and that sort of led me into social media as well. So Happy Mundane across all platforms.
Cool.
The first question. So, Jonathan, how did you get started as a Pinterest creator or just a creator on Pinterest?
So I got introduced to Pinterest pretty early on, but I believe when Pinterest first really started to hit, they had this campaign called Pin It Forward, and it was shared amongst a select group of bloggers, and they would put out invites. Unfortunately, I didn't get an invite, but you could still sign up. And so I signed up fairly early on, and of course, once you get started, you get addicted. And I quickly was consumed and started making boards and everything, and uploading a lot of my blog content. And yeah, it kind of grew from there.
How many years ago would you say that was?
Oh, I think it was like 2011-ish.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were early to the Pinterest game and the blogging game, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I started my blog in 2006.
Okay. Yeah.
So kind of the dawn of I mean, at that point, people barely even knew what a blog was. And I mean, there were already blogs going before I even started. So yeah, it's been around. It's been really interesting to see its ebbs and flows.
I'm sure. Yeah. Cool. So what is your favorite thing about Pinterest?
I think my favorite thing is that you can quickly bookmark or save an image and have it all in one place. And then I think the other great thing is that you can link out to it too, which, obviously like on Instagram, you can't link anything unless you're through stories. But Pinterest, you have that ability to even customize your link. And so to have that kind of ability to direct somebody if they click through is really great. And it's a great way to bring traffic to wherever you want it to go.
Sure.
Cool. And then going back real quick.
Yeah.
Is that your dog?
That is my dog Pepe. He is he's actually right here. Well, he's being kind of annoying, but he's down on the bottom.
Awesome.
You're so cute.
Okay, and then I'm curious about this one. How is creating content for Pinterest different than other social platforms?
So I think Pinterest is interesting because when it first started, it was really marketed as like a bookmarking site. But what it's evolved to, I think, is really become a visual search engine. So I think when people are on Pinterest, they're either looking primarily for inspiration or instruction. So your content kind of should fill one of those boxes. And I think that it's also really fast read. So you have to, well, it works better vertical, which is like different from Instagram. And I think that you have to kind of think about it in terms of like, if you're going to add text to it, it needs to be really fast read. Because again, people are quickly looking for either some sort of answer, whether it's inspirational again or instructional. So in order to attract someone outside of the visual, if you put any text, it's got to be really straight to the point.
Yeah, I love that.
Interesting. I've found myself like going to Pinterest now instead of Google if I'm looking for a recipe or like a DIY thing. Pinterest.
I think anything creative based, whether it's food or fashion ideas or graphic design or home decor, those are all visual mediums. And I think that's what Pinterest really does well. And I totally agree. That's my first go-to. Whenever I need to look for something, I just type in, what I'm kind of looking for, any of those keywords, and that's where I go. Whereas Google, that's going to take you all over the place and show you all kinds of things you don't need to see.
Exactly. More to the point. And it knows what I'm looking for because it already knows what I like. So that helps.
Yeah.
So do you have any advice for creators who are just getting started on Pinterest? I
think, well, number one, just do it and have fun with it. I think that Pinterest is kind of I think they're evolving, and I think that really encourage people to upload their own original content, because I think Pinterest really looks for people to upload something interesting and new, and then it's a great opportunity to showcase your own work. And I think that don't necessarily go at it to try to get followers. It's because again, it's really search engine-y kind of like now, that it's really hard to follow people. So it's more about content. And again, what you do have the ability to do is direct that content. So there is still a lot of value to that. So if you are an Instagram person and you want to try to get more people to explore your Instagram feed, if you upload your Instagram posts, you can direct them and they can easily find you that way and start to follow. And I think there's a lot of opportunities there, because it's putting your work out to fresh eyes.
Sure. Do you feel like you need to put more content out on Pinterest than other platforms to kind of like gain a following or get more content out there to get more eyes on it?
It doesn't hurt, that's for sure. And I think that Pinterest really does like people putting out their own content, especially if it can drive back to like a blog or a website. I think that sort of original URL, unique URL,
Sure.
is something that they kind of look for and will promote more
Cool.
or suggest more.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
And then our last one, what are you most excited about for the future when it comes to Pinterest?
I'm honestly just excited to see what other people are putting up there, because again, it's my go-to for inspiration, and it's neat to see when certain trends start popping up and certain aesthetics start kind of trickling in. I think it's a great way to sort of track those things, and that's kind of one of the few places that you can easily investigate and do a lot of research there. So I think there's always going to be something new, and I think that Pinterest is one of the places to really find those things. In terms of new features, I don't know, it'll be interesting to see how well they're trying to do their Pinterest stories and things like that. I am curious to see how people respond to that. For myself, sometimes it can get a little distracting because I'm just like looking on the feed and suddenly there's this like bug moving in the corner, and I don't know if that's going to continue to be successful or not.
Sure.
But we'll see, I guess.
Yeah. Interesting. For me, I love the like video pins. I walk you through like how to make something. I'm super visual, especially when it comes to making food I've never made before. So I hope they keep making more of those.
Yeah, definitely. I think that the food recipe world there it's so good. And I especially love how they've now, how they've added, you can quickly see the ingredient list and things like that without necessarily needing to click through.
Right.
It just makes things really easy and makes you want to make something.
Sure does. Do you have a question, Jane?
Nope. I think that answers it all. Personally, what I'm excited about is, Jonathan, you mentioned this, but like the more creators creating their unique content, the better for Pinterest. So, and Pinterest they're only going to add more to the product. So it'll be really cool to see like how they grow when they start to cater to creators of all kinds.
Yeah, for sure. There's always a need for something new to look at. So
yeah, it's true.
Especially
for sure. And the more pretty things, the better.
Cool. Well, I think that's all we have for you today. So thank you so much, Jonathan. And thank you again to Mandy from Pinterest. We hope this was helpful and makes you as excited as we are for creating content for Pinterest. So as always, if you have any questions, you can hit us up at friends@popularpace.com. So thanks again for joining. Take care. Bye.